The laughter started before I even bent down to help him. "Ah, see this one, oh," someone shouted from across the road. "Fine man like you, they touch that dirty old beggar? You no get sense?" I heard the words, but I didn't stop. The old man lay by the roadside, his shirt torn, his face swollen with dust and hunger. Cars rushed by without slowing down. The smell of petrol and fried yam filled the hot Lagos air, but all I could see was his trembling hands reaching out for help that never came. I walked closer, ignoring the stares. His leg was bleeding from a deep cut, and his voice was weak. "Please, just a little water," he whispered. I knelt beside him and poured the bottle I had into his mouth. The water spilled down his chin, but he swallowed slowly, like a dying man drinking hope. People around began to gather, some out of curiosity, others out of mockery. "Olga, leave that one jar," a woman selling oranges said loudly. "No be that mad beggar way they thief meat for market last week. I beg, make 'em die." The crowd laughed. I kept quiet. I tore my handkerchief into two and wrapped it around his bleeding leg. The man flinched and looked at me with surprise. Why are you helping me?" he stammered. "No one ever stops." I smiled faintly. "Because you need help." He shook his head slowly. "They will laugh at you." And they did. A group of young boys pulled out their phones and started recording. One of them shouted, "Guy, see this one way they do humanitarian work for street. He thinks say in a movie." The laughter echoed through the air. Someone else added, "Olga, if you like, hug Am. You fit catch his bad luck too." They all burst out laughing again. I tried to ignore them, but it was hard. My heart was heavy. I wasn't used to this kind of attention, especially the wrong kind. I wasn't wearing my usual suit that day, just a plain black t-shirt, jeans, and sandals. I didn't look rich. That was intentional. I like to blend in whenever I moved through the city. People act differently when they think you have money, but I never expected kindness to attract so much hate. As I cleaned the man's wound, a bus conductor shouted from his danfo, "Fine boy, you they waste your time. No be this beggar they sleep for gutter for mile 12. A beg come out, make I pass." I stood up slowly, helping the man sit upright. "Can you stand?" I asked. He shook his head weakly. "Driver," I called out to my taxi, which was parked nearby. The driver hesitated. "Sir, you won't carry this man into my car like this?" "My seat go stain, oh, I'll pay for the cleaning," I said calmly. He sighed and opened the back door reluctantly. I helped the old man in, ignoring the stares, the whispers, the laughter. Someone shouted, "A beg video him well. Make we post him for TikTok. See how people they disgrace themselves all in the name of pity." The crowd roared with laughter again. I closed the car door gently. My driver started the engine, and we pulled away from the chaos. As we drove, the old man kept whispering, "God bless you, my son." I nodded, pretending not to care, but inside I was burning. Why did kindness make people laugh? When we reached the small community hospital in Nyaba, I paid the nurse on duty and told her to take care of him. The nurse looked doubtful. "Sir, this man looks homeless. Are you sure he can pay later?" I smiled. "I'll cover all his bills." She blinked, surprised, then nodded quickly. When I turned to leave, the old man held my hand. "You remind me of my son," he said softly. "He used to bring me food before he died." "Thank you." I smiled faintly and walked away. By the time I got home that evening, my phone was full of missed calls. My younger sister, my assistant, even one of my business partners, all asking the same question. "Brother, why are you all over the internet?" I didn't understand until I checked. There it was. The video. Me kneeling by the roadside helping a bleeding old man. The crowd laughing, shouting, mocking. The caption read, "Over Sabi man cleaning mad beggar like nurse. Nalagos we day." And just below it, thousands of comments. Greater than, "This guy no get work. Na fake humanitarian. Dem all they find clout a beg. This one the moo of the year." I sat on my couch, reading each line with a strange calmness. If only they knew. If only they knew that the man they called Moo was the same person who owned 3 real estate firms, 2 tech startups, and a foundation that had quietly paid school fees for hundreds of children across Nigeria. But I didn't tell him. I didn't defend myself. I didn't post a reply, because I knew something they didn't. The story wasn't finished yet. And in a few days, those same mouths that laughed would struggle to speak again.
The next morning, I woke up to 100 new messages. The video had gone viral overnight. Friends sent me screenshots from blogs. Headlines screamed, "Mystery man caught cleaning beggar's wound in Lagos." "Street Samaritan or clout chaser. Nigerians react." Thousands of comments poured in. Some mocked, some defended, most judged. I scrolled slowly, my chest heavy. I had faced business pressure, financial risks, and betrayal before, but this was different. This was humiliation, public and loud. Still, I didn't regret it. I went straight to the hospital to check on the old man. When I got there, I found him sitting up, his leg neatly bandaged. The nurses were feeding him rice and stew. He looked healthier. The moment he saw me, his eyes filled with tears. "You came back," he said. "Of course," I smiled. "How are you feeling?" "Better. They said you paid for my treatment," he whispered. "I don't know how to thank you." "You already did," I said softly. He grabbed my hand, suddenly, trembling. "You saved my life. I've been living on the streets for years. I lost my family, my home, everything. I was a driver once. I worked for a big company, but after my wife died, I broke down. I started drinking. One day they fired me. Since then, this street became my home." He paused, wiping his eyes. "But yesterday, you saw me like a human being again. Nobody has done that in years." I didn't know what to say. The lump in my throat wouldn't let me speak. Just then, the hospital door opened. A young woman rushed in, her face pale with shock. "Papa?" she gasped. The old man turned. "Amara?" She burst into tears and ran into his arms. The nurses stared in surprise as father and daughter cried like children. "I've been looking for you for 3 years," she sobbed. "I saw your face online. Someone sent me the video and said, 'Isn't this your father?'" I couldn't believe it. The old man turned to me, speechless, tears streaming down his face. And in that moment, I understood. The video they mocked me for had brought this man's family back together. "Thank you," Amara whispered to me. "I don't even know your name, but you've given me back my father." I smiled faintly. "You don't need to thank me. Just take care of him." The nurses clapped quietly, some wiping their eyes. Even the doctor shook my hand, saying, "God bless you, sir. People like you make this world bearable." But the story didn't end there. That afternoon, another video surfaced, this time recorded by a nurse. It showed Amara reuniting with her father, both crying and me standing quietly in the background. The caption read, "The man everyone mocked ended up reuniting a family." Within hours, the story flipped. Comments changed from mockery to admiration. "We owe that man an apology. I judge him too fast." This is what real kindness looks like. By evening, news channels were calling. Radio hosts debated about the man who helped the beggar. Nobody still knew who I was, and I liked it that way. But not everyone was in the dark for long. The next morning, one of my company staff saw me at the hospital again and recognized me. Before I knew it, someone had posted, "That Good Samaritan? He's actually Damalaire Thomas, the billionaire founder at D-Tech Holdings." The news spread like wildfire. Within hours, every blog in Lagos had my name. Suddenly, the same people who called me Mumu began calling me Inspiration. Some even deleted their old posts and replaced them with praise. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even proud. I just found it sad how quickly people's opinions changed once they heard the word billionaire. That evening, I received an invitation from a local TV station. They wanted to feature me on a show about everyday heroes. I agreed, but on one condition: the old man and his daughter had to be there too. When we arrived at the studio, the host looked shocked when she saw who the poor man from the video really was. She apologized to him live on air. The old man smiled and said gently, "If not for mockery, my daughter wouldn't have found me." The audience clapped. Cameras flashed. For a brief moment, the world seemed kinder. After the show, I quietly handed Amara a check. "This is to help you start fresh. Maybe open a shop or something small," I said. She tried to refuse, but I insisted. "It's not charity. It's gratitude." Her father hugged me tightly. "May God never let you lack," he whispered. The next few weeks changed everything. My company received messages from across Africa, people saying the story inspired them to help others. Schools invited me to talk about kindness. Even some of the boys who mocked me online sent apology messages. But I didn't respond to any of them. I didn't need to. Their regret was enough. One evening, I went back to that same spot where everything had happened. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange. I stood quietly, watching people rush by, the same way they had that day. Only this time, no one was laughing. A young man approached me timidly. "Sir, are you the man from that video?" I nodded slowly. He smiled. "I used to laugh at you that day. I was one of those recording. I'm sorry, sir. That video changed my life. Yesterday, I stopped to help a man who fell off his bike. People laughed, but I didn't care. I understand now." I smiled. "That's good. Keep doing what's right, even when it's unpopular." He nodded, eyes shining. "Yes, sir." As I walked back to my car, the city lights flickered on, yellow, red, white, glowing against a dark sky. Lagos was noisy as ever, full of shouting, laughter, and honking, but something inside me was quiet. That day, I realized something simple but powerful. People might laugh at your kindness, but one act of love can echo louder than 1,000 insults. And sometimes, the world has to mock you before it learns from you. When I got home that night, I scrolled through my messages again. The last comment I saw made me smile. It said, "We mock him for helping a poor man, but now we know the poor man wasn't the only one who needed saving. We all did." I closed my phone, leaned back, and whispered to myself, "Let them laugh, as long as someone learns." And for the first time in a long while, I felt peace.